Hello, this is Maciej Mikos welcoming you to World Talks, where every word matters. German government decided to reintroduce border controls with all the country's neighbors to curb the influx of illegal migrants. The decision, however, sparked much controversy. Just across the border with Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has been calling it unacceptable. And to discuss the issue, we're joined by Krzysztof Jaworski, Director of the Insitute of Security and International Development, expert in security and international affairs. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me today. It's good to be here with you.
So, how are the border controls to impact the transfer of goods and people all across the Union? Because I guess that if Germany closes its borders, it won't affect just Poland or any other of German neighbors, but it's all the Union that will suffer.
These measures taken on Polish-Germany border from the last year and now prolonged and new measures that will be in place in other land borders of Germany are disturbing flow of goods, are disturbing flow of people. It affects tourism, it affects business. It is inconvenience for every people who are crossing Germany borders, and it is really significant what German Minister of Interior Nancy Faeser announced recently, that there will be other measures at borders, because it is a huge blow in Schengen area. It is something that, as we know from the Polish government, the Polish government, for example, wasn't informed about that. So even if after taking this decision, Germany notified it to European Commission and notified it to affected countries, it is something that creates another tension between Germany and their neighbors.
Talking about tensions, let's listen now to Polish Prime Minister criticizing the German move.
Poland does not need increased controls on the German border. Poland needs increased involvement of other states, including Germany, in helping to secure the European Union's external borders. In the coming hours, we will approach other states affected by Berlin's decisions and ask for immediate talks about Berlin's decision. I hope that joint pressure in the spirit of the European Union will lead to a correction of German thinking on illegal immigration.
Do you agree with Donald Tusk that the spirit of the European Union may lead to a correction of German thinking on illegal immigration, or is there something else at stake than just the spirit of the Union?
I fully agree with what Prime Minister Tusk said on this issue, because it is indeed unacceptable for other countries, because it is against the rules of European Union, even if it is within the exceptional exceptions to the rule of free flow of humans inside of Schengen area, which can be stopped under special circumstances, such as risk for internal policy or internal security. It is something that goes too far, because Germany is giving Germany is telling other countries, don't count on us, because you got problems, for example, on your external borders of European Union, and we won't help you with these external borders to make something with this problem when it starts. We will just care of ourselves, and it, in my opinion, it undermines the position of Germany as a country which is aspiring to be seen as a leader of European Union and European integration.
Donald Tusk also called on EU consultations on the matter. The question is whether Brussels can lift this German measures on borders.
It will be indeed interesting if there will be some dispute, for example, legal dispute between European Union, for example, Commission and German government. However, I think that we can look at this in different levels. Because in this practical level, it is really doubtful, in my opinion, that Germany is able to fully execute what it announced, because they didn't maintain such border controls for last years, so they probably have not enough border guards to execute this, what they announced. However, on this symbolic level, it is of great significance because it goes against these rules of Schengen area we mentioned before.
Right, you mentioned Nancy Faeser talking about the Interior Minister of Germany, talking about the issue, and I'd like us now to listen to her addressing the migrants, the issue with migrants in Germany. Let's give it a listen.
We have had border controls with the Czech Republic, Poland, Austria and Switzerland since October. Since then, we have already carried out 30,000 deportations. We also need effective refoulement at the external borders, which is why we believe that we must continue to take action there. This is absolutely necessary in order to further reduce irregular migration. And we have a kind of gap until the implementation of the common European asylum system, which we have to fill now. It is very important that in the 2 years until the individual regulations come into force, we can continue to implement concrete, effective and efficient refoulement measures that comply with European law.
So I have two questions, because Nancy Faeser talked about 30,000 deportations which already have taken place. So is closing borders, maybe not closing borders, but reintroducing these controls, is it effective if we have this number, 30,000? Well, seems quite substantial. But then she also mentioned some future measures Germany is about to introduce. So what would they be?
It is hard to say yet how effective these measures are, because, as I mentioned before, it will be really hard, and Germany probably doesn't have enough border guards, enough funding for their border guards to maintain these security controls and effectively blocking inflow of illegal migrants into Germany. And at the same time, these measures they are taking now is not solution for their problems, because it creates another problems. It creates tension against their neighbors, for example, Poland. But it's not only Polish Prime Minister that called this decision unacceptable. It's as well Austria government. There were as well Luxembourg response. They didn't criticize it in the same way. However, they said that it will cause the great efforts of their own policy to maintain security in Luxembourg. And at the same time, it's something that this decision was made under huge internal pressure, because of domestic problems with elections, because it's both opposition of conservatives, of CDU, CSU, and of Alternative for Germany, AfD, which won last regional elections, and next regional elections in Brandenburg will take place in some weeks. So it's under huge pressure of internal election rivalry, and it's not part of a well-planned strategy. It's not part of something that is well designed to resolve these problems, but it's some way of trying to solve these problems, but it probably won't be effective.
I see, but the question about German internal politics is whether AfD voters can be, swayed away from voting for Alternative für Deutschland, into voting for SPD or Christian Democrats, because that's what's the gamble about. And do you think it is possible that these hardliners voting for the far right will now suddenly decide to change their mind and to vote for SPD, for example?
As far as we know, it's not only hardliners that are voting for AfD now, because some of people who was rather neutral or considering other choices, they were afraid because there were a lot of news about migration problems. There were this last deadly attack of a terrorist in Solingen in West Germany. 3 people died. So migration is very important part of political discussion in Germany in recent months. It's not something that started right now. So I think that this move is, they're trying to take some of these new voters who supported AfD in these regional elections, and they are trying as well to take voters, because CDU is as well pushing to harder line on migration issues. They are.
Yes, it is radicalizing. I mean, this is pretty strange because, for many decades, the Christian Democrats were rather considered to be, of course, conservative, but then again, very open-minded when it comes to
open doors policy.
Precisely. So it has changed dramatically.
That's right, and it is the same as with public opinion in Germany, because now more than 70% of German citizens are in favor of permanent border controls. They are afraid, they are considering it a real risk, real threat for their security. So yes, Germany is changing right now on our eyes. I think that it's the end of this Herzlich Willkommen policy introduced by Angela Merkel back in 2010s, and now we need to accommodate, we need to adapt to new Germany policy. And as we discussed previously, the Polish stance of this matter, I think that Polish government should keep this pressure on Germany, because even if German government has its own domestic problems, it cannot freely choose any solution that affects their neighbors and is against the rules of the European Union.
Yes, but talking about Germany's neighbors, we can see that a very similar discourse is emerging these very days in the Netherlands, in Austria as well. So is this the beginning of the end of the Schengen zone as we know it?
I think it is too early to say that with so much pressure on this end. It is a significant move. It is a real blow to Schengen area, but I think it's too early to announce the end of Schengen area. However, I know that, for example, Prime Minister Tusk used this term in his yesterday's speech about comment about this decision of German government.
Right. Now, more and more countries across Europe are talking about introducing similar measures to UK measures. I'm talking about the Rwanda scheme, right? It's already happening in Italy. And are Germans ready to deport asylum seekers or illegal migrants, whatever you call them, to distant camps? I'm talking about historical affiliations here.
Yes, I think that we need to wait for what are these propositions that Nancy Faeser announced that are now being prepared by her ministry, Interior Ministry. And at first I think that what they will try to do is this to push further with this stopping migrants on their borders and making them go back to the country inside of European Union in which these migrants were crossing external border of European Union and in which they are getting asylum. So whether it will be possible for Germany to, for example, send these people back to their country of origin outside of European Union, I think it's too early to discuss this matter.
Future will tell. Krzysztof Jaworski, Director of the Institute of Security and International Development, expert in security and international affairs, was our guest this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for more as more World Talks is coming up next.